where I saw all the wonderful work that you are doing there. I can't see myself. I don't know whether I want to see myself. Yes, I think I do, just so I can ground myself. I will speak slowly, but not too slowly. And if I am going too fast, then please raise your hand, Daniela. Okay, so I'm Pam Smith. I'm now a Professora Emerita here in Nursing Studies in the University of Edinburgh. It's a wonderful environment to be. If Daniela, we can see the next slide. Just a little glimpse of Edinburgh, McEwen Hall, where the graduations take place, where we have Elsie Stevenson there in the middle, who was the founder of nursing in Edinburgh in 1956, the first university in Europe to have a nursing department. So you can see we have an ancient city and you are all welcome. The next slide, Danny, please. This is just briefly the session overview. I'm very grateful to Paula that you have set the scene so well to understand the concept of emotional labor. In order to situate my talk and my work, I will say just a little bit about the UK nursing and healthcare system. My own emotional labor journey. What is emotional labor, which I think already we've had a very good insight from Professora Paula. How it's developed, again, I think you have shown us, Paula, how it's a constantly developing field, it's interdisciplinary, and I think you have done some very important work to show us these connections, but at the heart is the emotional labor of nursing. And then, how does emotional labor connect with compassion, empathy, and kindness? Again, Paula, you have shown us the way to help us to think about these important connections. The emotional labor that we do produces the compassion, the empathy, and the kindness. The next slide, Daniela, please. So here, very important, our National Health Service. We are very proud. It was established in 1948, just after the Second World War. And it's interesting to see how innovations and initiatives come from crisis. We have a nursing workforce made up of registered and, until the 1970s, enrolled nurses who did a 2-year course, nursing assistants who really add much to the nursing workforce, student and pupil nurse apprentices, so they made up a large percentage of the nursing workforce. Overseas nurses we could not do without the Windrush generation who came to help to establish the National Health Service from the Caribbean. And men in nursing, they came quite late to nursing in the UK, but now there are 10% of the nursing workforce are men. Nurse education, the first nursing degrees, just small numbers of people undertook nursing degrees in universities. Nurses no longer were learning nursing as apprentices in 2000, and by 2013, nursing became an all-graduate profession. The next slide, please. My own emotional labour journey began with my own university education in Manchester in the north of England, which was the second university to establish a nursing degree. I then worked as a National Health Service staff nurse and then had very formative experiences in Tanzania and Mozambique as a nurse, enfermera de saúde comunidade. Then back in the UK as a hospital nurse and teacher, where I began to notice that it was the little things that mattered to student nurses and patients. And there I began my emotional labour research. The next slide. So I was interested in how the quality of nursing related to how student nurses learned to nurse and care. And I wondered if a ward or a clinical ward was good for nurses, was it also good for patients? After that, as Daniela mentioned, I spent a year with Arlie Hochschild, which was very inspirational. And then I had the opportunity to produce from my thesis and then more research to develop the ideas of the emotional labour of nursing, looking to see how nurses care. The next slide, Daniela, please.
Can you see? Can you see the next one?
Yeah. The next one is there. Okay. So when I began my PhD journey, I didn't know anything about emotional labour. I hadn't heard about it. And it was only through reading the work of Arlie Hochschild, which Paula has described very well, that I began to see a way to understand what was going on for the student nurses. And this was really important, how people manage their feelings, the induction or suppression of feeling in order to sustain an outward appearance that produces in others a sense of being cared for in a convivial, safe place. Thank you. As Paula suggested, emotional labour jobs, they involve face-to-face or voice-to-voice contact. They require workers to produce emotional states in others, and that can be gratitude or fear or the range of emotions. And they allow the employer through training and supervision, which is not always good because it may put a pressure on the worker because they exercise a degree of control over the emotional activities of their employers. So it was the first time to look at person work and service work.